is, what blessings did you receive from the Lord through the sacrament of matrimony?
Well, I would say one of them is sitting next to me. The other one would be our son, Edward. But I think the blessing is how faithful he is. We invited Jesus to be in our center of our marriage. And even though we've not always been perfect with it, it's amazing what he does when you invite him, not just to the wedding or the reception, but to your actual married life. And he has got us through with a lot of graces, a lot of surprises, good, maybe some we weren't expecting, but I would say that it's him, his presence, his faithfulness.
That's beautiful. That's really lovely.
The sacrament has been not just something that I looked for, like a visible sign. The sacrament has always been, and it's probably because of the way I was raised as a child, it's something you feel in your heart. It's something that is fundamentally there, and it's something that's different, and it wasn't there before.
Yeah.
And when I wake up and her head is not on the pillow, and what fills my heart, that's a sacrament.
Yeah.
That is a visible sense of the sacrament. It's when I looked at her, when I first saw her, and then throughout the years as we've changed and we've grown, it's different. I see that sacrament is also something that's alive. And it's finally, I would say, something that has borne fruit in our lives. Because we made the Lord part of this 3-ply knot, he bore fruit, not just the fruit of having children, not just the fruit of a love that wants to take each other to heaven, but the fruit that also says, here's what I want you to do out in the world. And so that actually is how the diaconate flowed right out of that marriage. That is one of the fruits. The other two are the major fruits in our lives. I only need to look at her to see it again. So.
How are you an example of God's love through your marriage? No, that's a hard one.
Well, I think, again, not to always, I think because Deacon has never forgotten to open the door for me. It's very rarely that those little manners, those little courtesies that maybe we do during dating and then we just forget. And I think that, and then again, when we need to be nice to each other, especially if we're both stressful, having that, especially during the COVID lockdown, we knew and we really worked hard to really be nice to each other. Kind, not nice, kind.
As an example, I think love is a choice. I believe love is always a choice. And sometimes that choice doesn't show itself. And so if she were to look to me to say, yes, he is a sample or an example of the love in our marriage, I would think it would have to come out of the other person, because if love manifests, if it comes out in us, it's more like being a mirror of God's love to the other person.
Yes.
And that's something that has to come from us, and it has to come from somebody. And I've always believed that. But I think it was you who said it one time, a long time ago when we were first married, how love is always a choice, one that you renew every day, one that holds itself in your life. And it, again, never dies, as Paul says.
Yeah.
But it is true, and it's something we feel.
Yeah. How does the sacrament of matrimony help you to grow in your love and faith of God and also each other as well?
You go first.
Okay. Well, the sacrament reminds me of the promise that I made to you when we wed. And that promise was, and we even said it, that I'm going to do everything that I can to place you in the arms of Jesus. That's not a thing that I take lightly, and the sacrament is the reality. That's what it means, because you have to do it in every season. Please.
All I can do is quote Ruth, if I can say it without crying. Where he goes, I will go. His people will be my people. St. Elizabeth and Seton. And your God will be my God. Enough said.
That's beautiful. I think that's a great place to end. Oh.